Sentry mode activated. Target acquired.
Hey there hunters, and welcome back to the Gunners Guild. Today we're going to be doing a set of videos diving deep into each of the Prowler playstyles and explaining their optimal setups and play. Going to try and get 3 videos out at the same time, first one being of the Fight and Protect Cats, then this one which is going to be the Boomerang Cats, and then lastly we're going to do Beast Cat. And first, let me point out that we are using Palicos as assistants. They're going to provide me with buffs such as Go Fire Win to reduce all my ability costs and let me spam skills more easily. And they also do damage buffs with like their cat horns and their bombs that they place. They're a really big asset to the Prowler playstyle, and of course they're not TA legal, but they do help out a ton. And that's why I'm not going to be equipping skills such as Go Fight Win and whatever on my cats. So with that out of the way, let's just dive into this. Alright, Boomerang Cats. We have 3 options here: the Gathering, the Assist, and the Bomb Cat. They're all going to be playing pretty much exactly the same with similar active and passive skills. The only difference here is that Bomb Cat has a depth roll and therefore does not need Artful Dodger nor earplugs, and we will not have the 3rd Boomerang combo for the Bomb Cat. Basically, you're going to be trading your offense for defense. So Boomerang Cats are the de facto meta cats. They deal the most damage and generally are the safest to play, minus a few matchups. Unfortunately, Boomerangs just have higher motion values, especially when buffed compared to melee. Now, what Boomerang Cats lack is iframes. Their natural dodge is worse than Hunter dodge. It's like half the iframes. It's pretty bad. So positioning becomes much more important. Now, the reason why we use Bomb Cat is just to make up for the lack of an adequate dodge, because they get a depth dodge. The basic rundown of the Boomerang Cat is actually quite simple, and it's probably the reason why cats got nerfed going from Generations to GU to begin with. Your main job is to buff your boomerangs with Pierce and Big Boomerangs, and then maintain enough meters so that you can keep buffing your boomerangs as they expire, and then you're just throwing boomerangs. Forbidden Acorn is used to start out our fight so we don't have to throw awful boomerangs for like a few minutes to build up meter. Now, as I mentioned before, positioning with Boomerang Cats is key, so learning where your boomerangs go and how far is very important to playing these cats properly. It's going to be a lot of learning and instinct to know when and where your boomerangs are and what their ideal spots are going to be. Boomerangs don't throw straight. The first one goes off to the left before coming back around, the second one goes off to the right, and then the third one, for those who have it, goes straight. This was changed from Generations where we only had 2 boomerangs and they both went straight, presumably as another nerf to make Boomerang Cats harder to play, as the only way to perfectly land all 3 of your boomerangs now on like a face or something is either be point blank or at the perfect distance where they all meet on the way back. Again, position is key. Do note that when you're throwing your second boomerang, you can hold back and move backwards so you don't keep moving forward as you're throwing these boomerangs. Good to know if you're near a ledge. So the Assist and Gathering Cats have the default cat dodge, meaning their position is both vital for offense and defense. You really can't dodge much reliably with a cat unless you're God tier, which I am not. So rather than use the few iframes you have to avoid stuff, preemptively avoiding attacks by running around is much more feasible. Using attacks such as the jump poke after your first boomerang and the boomerang slash after the second to position yourself past monsters becomes a very good option to keep up damage and keep you safe. You could put in Artful Dodger over earplugs in these cats, as I'd mentioned before in the Fight Cat video, and then use the jump attacks to eat small roars if you're not comfortable with dodging them. This does let you get a much better neutral dodge like Evasion +2 dodge, at the small cost of having to manage your roars now more closely. You do need to know the monster's movesets much more so you know what is a safe spot to retreat to as these Boomerang Cats with their normal dodges though. And until you get really comfortable with cat positioning, I do recommend using the Bomb Cat just because it's a safer option, albeit less damage output. Now for our meter dump, we actually don't have much here unless we're fighting hyper monsters or using deviant weapons, which naturally build more meter for cats just as they do Hunter or Gauge for hunters. We need to make sure we keep 3 bars on hand to rebuff as our boomerang buffs fall off. This is one of the bigger reasons why I bring assist cats with me with Go Fight Win, as they make buffing costs 1 bar instead of 3. This lets us spam mega boomerangs much more often, as we should have the opportunity to do so. And trust me, you want to use mega boomerangs. It's great to use when the monster charges far away from you or after a topple, because it hits on the way out and on the way back, and you can get some serious damage in, and it's really good to use if you know the monster is going to come back to you to attack. We do use it much more on Boomerang Cats than Fight and Protect Cats, because not only do we have better boomerang weapons equipped, but we will naturally be positioning ourselves away from the monsters more, so the gap is going to be much larger, and that does make it easier for us to wind up and abuse mega boomerangs. I typically don't trap with the assist cats as it costs a ton of meter, but you should always have a trap cat ready, as there are a ton of capture quests in GU. Now, gathering cats, essentially the same thing as assist cats, but we're not going to be using their fixed skills like with pilfering and pilfer boost. Likewise, with bomb cats, we won't use their bomb skills, and we're going to be focusing entirely on what we give them for with boomerangs and just boomerang buffs. And then we're just going to be using adept dodge as a safer means to play the cat over standard dodge cats. If you're going to be using bomb cat as your boomerang cat, don't forget to use counter boost, as it will help build meter on your adept dodge, giving you extra meter to burn. Alright, so that's a brief rundown on how we're going to be playing and using boomerang cats here in GU. Hope you learned something. Thank you for watching, and good luck out there, hunters.